All right, baby. Today is Thursday. It is September 2nd. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. We got another free swim here for you, and we got an extra guest here for it. We've got the man to my left. If you're watching on YouTube, his name is Dave.
How do you feel about him calling you a guest? You're sitting in your own
That's
chair.
kind of fucked up.
Yeah, you knew
really
that was something that would get him going.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have until he brought it up.
I know. That's what I said.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
You knew. You just knew it.
It's I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Are you happy to be here at least?
Not particularly.
Okay.
That's fucked up. I invited you.
I know. I mean, I took that out of. I should probably do it out of necessity more than I wanted to.
So you're doing me a favor.
Yeah, I'm doing all of you a favor.
So
my time is
so we
valuable.
owe you.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Okay.
All of you guys owe me.
Yeah.
This guy's ballsy today. He ripped Dante's head off his head.
Yeah.
Well, can you explain why?
He was wearing a Tom Brady hat.
A TB12 hat in my home.
Dante hates tomatoes. Did you consider that? He eats
Shades.
avocado ice cream.
No, I don't buy in.
That's-
that.
I mean,
I don't buy in that fully, but
Do you hate tomatoes, Dave?
No, I fucking love tomatoes.
Really?
Yeah.
Doesn't
Why wouldn't
like-
I like tomatoes?
I don't know. I'm just
Are we
saying.
talking about the actual fruit, like the food? Are we talking about a metaphorical, like, is this an analogy of some
Well,
sort?
technically, you could say, hey, she had some tomatoes on her. You know, technically, I've heard that before.
Yeah,
I know
I,
you
I saw
enjoy-
that in
I
Wonder Years, I remember.
Did you?
Yeah, the
I know
neighbor
you
had big
enjoy-
fat tits,
I know you enjoy that version of tomatoes.
and he would, like, be a peeping Tom out his window.
Who would?
What's his name?
Kevin Arnold?
No.
Paul,
The kid.
the
Who's
nerd,
the kid?
Paul.
Kevin Arnold.
Kevin
Was it
Arnold.
Kevin?
Yeah.
I forget. I haven't watched the show in, like, 30 years.
It's a
but
great fucking show.
I don't
All
remember.
time.
that
he was
episode.
the neighbor was gardening, I remember, and she'd be like bending over, and the irony was she had these big ass like beefsteak tomatoes that she would hold, and she also had big ass beefsteak tomatoes on her chest.
I don't remember that episode.
It's like
neither.
Why?
was,
Do you know all the episodes?
no, but Kevin was far from a perv. He was like a
He was
pussy
like-
around.
yeah.
women.
I'm
Paul
probably
might have
fucking
been. Paul might have been
maybe
a little
yeah.
perv.
Or even the older brother.
Was it Wonder Years?
What was the brother's name?
Wayne.
Wayne. That's
Wayne
right.
was a fucking.
Wayne was a piece of shit.
Yeah, he was.
I think I might be thinking of the wrong show. What was Wonder Years again?
Wouldn't be surprised if you were, Dave.
Kevin Arnold. They open up
When he
the.
wore the Jets jacket.
Yep.
What?
Would
Yeah,
you
Fred
do
Savage. Yeah, that's
with
no.
the
Yeah. I'm
that
thinking of the right show.
And then the voiceovers were done by Daniel Stern. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
yeah.
I
I
did
did.
not know that.
Yep.
Yeah, from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I knew
never-
that.
I never knew that.
Yep.
What happened to him? He needs to be in more things. He's the best.
Let's do an investigation. Should
But
should we pivot
Might
in
have
real
got-
time?
The
he might
only
have got typecasted as Marv, and
Well, he did. He was fucking hot ice. He was.
yeah.
Yeah.
From,
And he
Rookie
did
of the Year.
City Slickers too.
He did Celtic Pride.
Yep. City Slickers is a great movie. He was good in that movie.
Celtic Pride was a tough one.
You don't like that one?
Oh,
What
I
was
saw
his
that
name
in
again?
theaters. It was bad.
Daniel Stern.
Daniel Stern.
Hasn't done much. 2012 looks. I mean, he did something in 2018, 2019, but doesn't look like a ton. Doesn't look like he's had that much.
He's
work.
one of those guys I would just like to walk into some random dive bar and just
I
like,
like.
just be like, hey, you're
I
Daniel
like to
Stern.
think that he gets so much on Home Alone residuals every year that he doesn't have to work and he's just like chilling.
Dude, I've told the story a million times over. My buddy from college was Gunther in Dennis the Menace, and he would get a couple $100 a month in residuals because he was in the movie for 30 fucking seconds. And then he was in Miracle on 34th Street as well.
Wait,
he
a
was
couple
just-
$100 a month?
Yeah.
Wow.
He deserves more than that. That's a terrifying scene.
That's like a huge fucking GIF and meme now is the Apple. And
yeah.
And that,
Do you remember that? What I'm talking about?
No.
That movie was very dark.
it was really dark.
It was not like
Christopher Lloyd.
I don't know
He's
if I've ever
scary as-
seen it.
Michael
You've seen
Richards.
it.
Dude, he was scary.
Michael Richards was a fucked up character in
No,
that movie.
who was Michael
He was
Richards?
a homeless guy.
No, that was
No,
Christopher
that was
Lloyd.
Christopher Lloyd. Michael Richards is Kramer.
I know that he was in it.
No, that
No,
was Christopher
no.
Lloyd
Are you
from like
thinking of
Angels in
Problem
the
Child?
Outfield and Back to the Future. You got two
Yeah. You're right. You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Michael
you're right.
Richards. He's in
You're right.
fucking Problem Child. As
You're
well.
right,
Do you
you're
remember
right,
that
you're
one?
right.
No,
He was
Junior Healy?
he was the felon in that movie.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
You're right. I got those confused.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm blanking on his
John
name. The
Ritter.
only time I ever this was like 5-6 years ago. I went out with a buddy from my old job. Who was this super fucking fat dude in Jackass? Why am I blanking on his
Preston
name?
Lacy.
Preston Lacy. I ran into him at a bar. Super nice guy.
Really?
Yep.
He's always doing appearances and shit.
No, he was just in there drinking.
Really?
Yeah, he was with a buddy. Yeah,
Nice.
Did you leave him alone?
I said hi to him, and he was super.
Come on, Dave.
Fucking
Dave's,
receptive.
if Dave sees someone, he can't help himself. He just said he told a story for the 1,000,001th time today.
Well,
Dave can't help himself.
I mean, that was a relevant story.
I know. I'm kidding. I just
I mean, I didn't like badger him. I'm like, hey, Preston Lacy, like,
yeah, come on, my lord.
I didn't.
Be honest, Dave.
I didn't. I let him be. I didn't even ask for a picture. I'm like, hey, like, love the Jackass series, which I do. Another one's coming out too, right?
Yes.
No Bam though.
No Bam though.
No Bam. Yeah.
I think he's suing them.
Bam does not seem like he's doing too well, which is a goddamn shame.
That is a shame.
Steve-O, on the other hand, flipped his life around from everything I understand.
Yeah. Steve-O's like blowing up again now with his podcast and with his stand-up and stuff.
He have you ever like seen? He's like very, very, very educated and smart.
Steve-O?
You'd never think so.
I mean, just because you do dumb shit and
Well, that's gonna give you
a stigma,
right? Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, we do dumb shit all the time.
Yeah.
We can relate to that.
I remember on
Like I feel like
Twitter,
you're unfairly.
he did like
stereotyped.
an Ask Me Anything on Twitter. This is also a few years ago. Steve-O did, and someone asked him like, why? Who actually types for you on Twitter? Because he's got like very good grammar and punctuation. He knows how to write. He's like, nobody does. My mom always made sure like I had insanely good grammar when I was writing and shit like that.
Speaking of which, did you see Marty Mush's blog after the Jake Paul fight?
He's a YouTube. What was
Dude,
the
I
other?
couldn't read it.
I mean,
It was one sentence in like 1,000 words.
It wasn't even that. It was like
Did he do that ironically?
I thought he was drunk and wrote it.
No.
I thought he did the dictate to text thing and just had that pasted.
No, I just think he just started writing and he just didn't even, he
He just
literally
got in his stream of consciousness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And you don't hit the delete button once. You just keep going, and he just
That
never
was
stop.
Marty.
That was real.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we are going to get into a little bit of a doc talk today. But I also have another announcement.
Okay.
I have a documentary coming out next week, I believe.
Ooh, is it finally time? You just say what it's about?
Wait,
I'm
what?
going to leave it there. Yeah, I got a doc coming out.
You
might
don't know
be-
about this?
Yeah.
I don't know about this either.
What
Yeah,
the
you do.
fuck,
Yes.
Ed? Are we gonna review it?
We could if you guys want.
We have to. I
We
feel.
we should do one without you.
No. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Wait. Explain though.
should.
Explain.
So I've been working on a documentary
A long
myself,
time though.
Marty, and
Oh yeah.
a couple producers at Barstool, and yeah, it's been over a year. Like we've been working on this thing for over, and like don't get me wrong, we've taken breaks and stuff, but did interviews in St. Louis, did interviews in Connecticut. We were kind of all over the place doing it.
Wait, is this
Marty's
is this the monkey
contribution
thing?
to-
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Correct. Yeah.
Yes.
Correct.
Dude, I remember you did that like 2 years ago, and
Yes.
I've been wondering what the fuck happened to it.
It's taken that long to just come together.
I feel like we saw a cut of it at the old office.
You did, yes.
How much different is what we're going to see the final product from that?
Not a ton different at
Okay,
all. It's
okay.
very close to the same
Okay.
thing. It's just we were debating throwing more interviews in there. We were debating,
But these people have been hard to find, correct?
yeah, and also like something that magnitude. It's kind of, it's kind of Barstool. You kind of got to make sure everything's like ready to go. So
Yeah.
that's taking a little bit. So it sounds like it's finally cleared because we want to make sure it got out before football season.
Yeah.
So
I'm pumped, man.
yeah, probably sometime next week it's going to be out.
So when we review this documentary, are we like supposed to promote it to the people and say we like it, even if we think it's fucking trash?
What we're gonna do is
I
everybody's
honestly
gonna
think it's pretty good though.
everybody's gonna scoot down one chair, meaning Ed gets pushed out the
Yeah,
door.
yeah.
And then we are all gonna
Yeah.
review it, the three of us together,
And no
give
holds barred. Yeah, honest
feedback.
opinion. If it's
Yeah.
a fucking
Well,
you've
seen
award
like
winning.
you've seen,
I've seen,
and it's pretty good.
yeah, I enjoyed it, but I also love that story.
Yeah.
like I love.
It's a
that
great story.
It is a great
I mean,
story.
the guy shouldn't have trash talked him in the car.
Yeah, so
Like you shouldn't have trash talked him.
Don't start.
Oh my god!
I won't be able to recover for 5
like,
minutes. if we get
I
into that.
have this image burned into my head of this monkey seat belted to like a Dodge fucking caravan.
Don't ruin
minivan.
it. Don't give anything away.
And then
'cause
all of a sudden, this guy flicks him off, and this
don't
monkey
give
just
anything away.
gives.
That's right. You were in.
I don't want any.
You were at
But
Barstool
the
Radio
story's
that day.
already out there.
I know, but I want to go into this.
I want to go in
completely-
fresh. Frank
Yes.
Costanza.
So yeah,
Yes.
it's a documentary on Travis.
Oh
the
my God,
chimpanzee.
that
I'm pumped, man. This
No,
is
I'm,
gonna
I'm
be
excited
great.
for it. I think people will like
he
it.
just
This is gonna
loses
be
his
great.
mind.
It ended up taking a lot of turn. We got a very exclusive interview that no way we should have gotten this guy. So
Can you?
we actually got the cop who killed him.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, I was
Yeah.
gonna ask.
It's gonna be great. I'm
Yes.
excited to watch.
And
it.
this guy turned down Netflix.
Yeah.
This guy turned down he turned down so many things. It's just lucky his kid was.
How long
still
is
living.
this?
It's like a half hour.
It's like a legit doc.
Great.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
we're definitely reviewing it.
Oh yeah.
This is great. This is gonna be great.
no Eddie allowed.
No Eddie.
Can we agree to that?
Sure, if you guys want.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
When's it? You don't have an actual release date?
It's gonna be. It sounds like it's gonna be next week, most likely Tuesday or Wednesday, just because, like I said, we wanted to get it out before football, and Monday's Labor Day. So I would assume Tuesday or Wednesday, but stay posted. We'll be promoting the shit out of it on Twitter and such.
Can't wait.
Another promotion of mine. Can we talk about how Rediscovery in America is coming out next week?
Oh yeah.
sure,
Sure.
yeah. What day does that come out?
It's going to be either the 2nd or the 3rd. When is this airing?
This airs in the 2nd, so you're coming out.
There we go.
That
So it
night.
comes
So
out
watch.
Friday.
I heard it is a masterpiece. I have seen a couple of social clips myself, and being in the situations that myself, Nick Taraney, Donnie, and KB were in, it's a doozy. It was.
I'm excited for
really.
this.
It's
Those guys cracked me up.
yeah. It was laugh. It's going to be laugh out loud funny. I think not because of me. Well,
Where were
actually,
you? Up in
definitely.
Michigan?
Yeah, we just just random places in Detroit.
Awesome.
So go check that out. All right, before we really get into it today, though, folks, we do want to talk about the beef kit. I don't know why I stumbled there. If you're watching this on YouTube, you see these lovely things on our desk. And 'tis the season. 'Tis really the season. It's always been the season. But, you know, it's kind of goes from like graduation beefs to football beefs.
It's always been the season, but this is the season.
Yeah,
This is when
that's fair to say.
Yeah. This to me is when you start loading up on the beefs.
Yep. TasteRealChicago.com. You can get your beef kit from there. Or you could stop at one of those 5 Home Depot locations. Niles. There's McCormick and Lincoln, I believe.
Yep.
So go check that out if you want to go get it. Or you can get it at the store, 901 West Randolph. And
Eddie's selling them out of his garage right now on the northwest side.
yes, I'm doing it on the low.
What's your address?
You almost got
comment.
him. You almost
It
got
is.
him.
I'm going to guess about 5342
City-
Northwest Highway.
City Hall, Edison Park.
you did, you almost got. I wanted to give a fake address, but I didn't think of like a famous one quick enough.
1060 West Addison.
Do you think that
That's-
you could get
that's an
elected
obvious one.
someday to be the alderman? I feel like you probably could.
I would. You know, they used to let you do 2 jobs. They used to let you do
Yeah.
that. I would have done that for sure.
Yeah.
Easily. You
But,
still could.
Now they stop you though.
I don't think so.
Really?
My alderman when I lived in Wicker Park, who I think he's in jail now, but he
Oh,
owned
that's,
he
I
owned
know
like
who you're talking. Yeah.
he owned like a printing company, and he still like moonlighted as like the CEO.
Because
of that,
it's a
slash
6-figure
alderman.
job, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
Oh, in
Yeah.
this
Only
city?
makes 100K.
Oh my hell yeah,
Which is-
easily.
Yeah.
Absurd.
They take care of themselves very well.
Yeah.
I have.
Budget cuts can come from somewhere else.
I'm talking with Jim this week, but I have a pasta sauce recipe that I'm working on
Beautiful.
with this kit. And
We
it's
like
gonna be
that.
a Sunday pasta sauce.
gravy,
It is
if you
gonna
will.
be.
Chief's been tinkering.
It's almost done.
Yeah.
I know. So how'd your pork shoulder come out?
Fucking awesome. This guy said he didn't think Italian seasoning would work with pork.
Oh,
And
it's
that-
porchetta, bro. You ever
Yeah.
had a porchetta? Oh,
Maybe. I don't know.
I
don't know. I
make
didn't.
you one.
I-
I'll
Just-
make you
it
one this
was
sun- I'll make you one this
I
fall.
fully
Awesome.
reserve the right to be incorrect with that statement.
You're incorrect.
So you take a pork
fine.
loin, right?
Yep.
And you jam cloves of garlic into it, and then you season it, and you bake it for hours, and it fucking comes out, and you slice it. Oh, it's delicious. But
I've done pork shoulders in the crock pot many a time. With
It's the
Italian
easiest.
seasoning, with red wine, and like you do all these different, like there's many ways to eat your pork, Dave.
so this one
fully
came
aware.
out.
Awesome.
Did it?
Awesome. Yep.
Amazing. You're a good cook, man. The shoulder you did for us for Bears kickoff last season was
That was
Everything
actually-
else that you offered us sucked that day.
you didn't think it
awful
came out that good.
hospitality.
I thought it came out excellent.
I've made better ones than that before.
Pork
He
shoulders
was
are
too
pretty
worried about
easy.
the TV. He was on tilt.
I was on tilt. The heat, the TV,
Yeah.
couldn't get anything working. Didn't account for the glare. It was a bad day.
a lot of haters
A
online.
lot of haters. The haters are fine. I'm fine with the
Yeah.
haters, but
You got a good relationship with the haters?
yeah, I suppose.
Remember, people were killing us for like 20 of
TV.
us.
The one guy
I
was
mean, it
like,
was an objectively
his head
hilarious-
was cocked at like a 90-degree angle. Who? That was Scott's brother-in-law, right?
He legitimately was hitting a corner 3 for watching that TV.
Like where the backboard
Yeah,
sticks out a
exactly.
little bit,
Yeah.
and you got to like go around it.
Like he's Paige Stojakovic. TasteRealChicago.com, get a beef kit. All right, so the doc we all watched this week, or watched previously, I guess. I feel many people have seen it at this point. It's called Untold Malice at the Palace. The Detroit Pistons Indiana Pacers fight that happened in 2004. Initial thoughts. Does anything jump off for anybody? Did everybody like it? Put it that way.
Yes.
Yes.
It was excellent.
I thought the best part about it was, and if you're watching or listening to this right now, and you haven't seen it yet, you already know the story, obviously, but it's only like an hour long. Hour 15 maybe.
It was an hour 10.
Hour 10.
That's your sweet spot.
I mean, it's bang bang, but
Yeah.
I thought the
it gets-
timing was good.
It was perfect. It was completely like easy to watch. You
Yeah.
don't have to take any time.
I'll say this. I never thought. First of all, I didn't remember at least that the Pacers were awesome.
I
don't remember that either,
I had
right.
forgotten that element
Yeah.
of that story, and that obviously losing Jermaine O'Neal and Ron Artest and these guys for like the bulk, or in some cases, the duration of the season, ruined their year. And I never thought it was possible, but that doc made me feel bad for Reggie Miller.
I've always liked Reggie Miller
You
because
know,
I
that-
appreciate like a foil in life.
I know, but like he took a swing at Jordan.
I know,
You know, like
but
that's
I
one of
like
those-
that shit. It's a storyline, and yeah, Jordan's like God in this town and in basketball, but I like those guys.
Yeah,
you know?
like he's like they're kind of in a way cut from the same cloth.
right.
I thought it was okay, not great.
Oh, I thought it was
Okay. I thought it was an
compelling.
easy watch. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But as far as like critically putting everything together, felt like a douche saying that.
What'd you think was
But-
lacking?
The guy makes
thought-
one documentary,
I thought
and now
more fan.
Yeah, now he's Martin Scorsese. Yeah.
Oh, Ed, honestly, what
I
did you think
thought
was
more
lacking?
fan experience was vital. Who did they talk to?
That
guys who got
Besides-
knocked
for
out.
sure.
The Hispanic guy that got knocked out.
Haddad, what a scumbag that guy was.
That
by the
guy
way.
and the fucking guy who started it all off.
Scumbags.
I hate that guy.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. They showed John Green. They couldn't even give us the screen of like the prints of what that guy's up to now and like what
Yeah.
happened with the case. They brought him up. They showed his horrible presser about how he's like, oh yeah, my biggest problem was that I didn't trip him. I didn't put my leg out further. It's like, all right, that guy
What a
clearly was a
fucking
fucking
douchebag.
asshole.
Yeah.
And they just like stopped there. They didn't bring him back.
Yep.
So I feel like that's a valid con
Yeah.
from
sure,
my
for
critically
for sure.
point.
Yep.
So did you guys, this was a great stroll down memory lane for me because like I was watching this game live. Do you guys remember where you were when this happened?
I remember being in my
I do.
football locker room for some reason. So
It was a Friday night. Yeah, I mean you probably
Yeah.
were.
that's what I remember. I don't remember.
So I was at
Watching it live,
I was
though.
at Duffy's, which was like the spot
Yeah,
back
yeah, yeah.
then. They
Is that still
had
around?
they had a Guns N' Roses cover band who was fucking awesome, and Duffy's was slam packed. It was November. I went to school. I mean, you know Keith and Paul and all my friends from college. They were diehard Detroit fans. So Pistons were like in the Eastern Conference Finals every year that year. So everybody was Pistons fans from Michigan. So everyone's watching the game, listening to Guns N' Roses, drinking like dollar Miller Lights or something there. Everyone's tuned up. And then all of a sudden, like hell breaks loose in this game. And it was like the most surreal fucking thing watching it. Like out of body experience almost. Like you didn't know if what you were seeing was actually like real life happening. It was fucking crazy.
Crazy. So I still remember. I have a remembering experience where it really was one of those things like, where were you?
Yeah.
And that's crazy. There's not many things that
No,
happen
there
like
aren't.
that.
For
And-
sports, there's not.
Yeah. I remember I had basketball practice the next day. It was like a Saturday morning, 9:15, and I remember going in. I was in eighth grade. You leaked that shit so
I was a
cool.
sophomore, yeah.
Dude, did you see everyone?
Yeah.
This fucking Steven Jackson, like we all thought it was like the coolest thing. Obviously, looking back, I was like, no, that's pretty rough, like pretty dumb, pretty whatever. But I do remember that.
I was at prep school, and like this was back in the day. This is like internet was. What's your fucking face, Dave? No, but like we didn't have TVs in the dorms. Like the dorms were old and shitty. We had like one communal room, and then same thing. Like we had a football game on Saturday, so like we all got up, and like some people were like talking about it on the bus on the way to the game, and everyone's like, oh, like a fight in an NBA game, like oh, like hold me back. Like everyone was like the way it was described to us was like. Where I'm sure it was just like a pussy NBA fight, like we've seen like 100 times. Mm-hmm. And then we got home from the game, and I remember like everybody, like the whole dorm was like in our like communal room, like just watching SportsCenter on repeat. And then you saw it, you're like, holy fuck!
Yep.
Like this was like
It was jaw dropping.
It was.
It was
like,
jaw dropping.
It would have been more like accurate to describe it as like a riot as opposed to like a fight. Mm-hmm. Like that, like the whole, like the people coming on the stand, coming out of the stands, Jermaine O'Neal, and that was the comment that Reggie Miller made, where it was the best miss of Jermaine O'Neal or
It's
Steven.
true.
Was it Steven Jackson or Jermaine O'Neal?
One of the two.
Yeah.
Where they came flying in,
And he
It was
slipped.
Jermaine O'Neal.
And Jermaine O'Neal,
Yeah.
if he had connected, that guy's dead. Like he's.
You could have snapped his neck or
Right in the temple,
broke his jaw,
broke his brain.
Yeah.
Like I legit think he would have killed him.
was the best.
I don't know
move
if he
for
would have
sure.
killed
Yeah.
him, but
I-
he would have.
you-
He would have fucking. He could have incapacitated.
You take a
him.
guy, a professional athlete, against that guy who's 7 feet tall, coming in with all the force
And
like,
all the adrenaline.
and all the adrenaline, and he hits him square. You absolutely could have
Yeah.
killed him.
Can I give you another thing that
Sure.
I think deserves a valid con? What happened to the Pacers that year? Do you guys remember? Or what?
No,
happened?
I don't remember.
Who won the title? Like what happened?
Wasn't that the year there was Spurs against Nets?
Spurs against Detroit.
Okay, Spurs against
Detroit beat the Pacers in the playoffs. And
Okay.
no mention.
Yeah,
Like, come on.
Yeah.
They met up again, and like you're just not going to say anything.
But it wasn't really a fight between the Pacers and the. I mean, it was, but it was more fans versus Pacers than.
But still,
Yeah.
man,
And all
there was bad blood. They were the two
Yeah.
fucking good teams in the East.
But it felt like all the teeth had been taken out of it by the league.
Right,
You
yeah.
know, like Artest didn't play in that playoff series.
No, but
Yeah.
the other two did.
Yeah.
But like no mention of it.
Yeah,
Like,
no, they
that's-
definitely should have.
it's
They should have
inexcusable.
mentioned it. Yeah,
It's
and
inexcusable.
like, what round did that take place? You know,
That was in the second round.
so the
So-
Pacers actually won a series.
Yeah, the Pacers won a
Okay.
series against Boston in 7.
Okay.
And then Detroit beat them 4-2. And Detroit lost the title to the Spurs in Game 7. So relevant,
Yeah,
very relevant,
very
I would
relevant.
say.
yeah, definitely.
One thing the doc did a great job of for me was framing the characters as like human people or human beings. Before it got into the whole melee and all that shit, it showed sides of these guys that honestly, I mean, I'm not a huge NBA guy, but Jermaine O'Neal, he came to Boston, seemed like a really good guy. After this whole debacle in Detroit, I think he managed to clean up his image a lot better than like Steven Jackson did, and definitely
Jermaine
Artest.
O'Neal came off awesome in this. I thought.
Yeah.
Super intelligent,
Yeah.
super
Well-spoken,
well spoken,
yeah.
and
But-
honest. Like he
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
he was very honest. Like he wasn't.
He's changed his image so much that I was surprised when some of his teammates were like, "Yeah, he and Artest are cut from the same cloth." That was like, wait,
Yeah,
Probably
I
on the
never
court,
thought
I could
that.
see
of
I never
him.
thought that
I never
either.
thought that of him at all.
But then when they did kind of, because I think they just whitewashed his whole image when he came back from that, and he went to different teams, and
Yeah.
like he had become this guy. But then they showed the clips of him like having other altercations on the floor and like bodying guys, and like he was like a bad dude.
Yeah.
Like in almost in like what I would say in a good way. Like he was like, you want a little bit of that on your team, especially from a big. And but he had like some grit and some sandpaper to him. It was like,
Yeah.
don't fuck with that guy.
That was probably on the court though, is what they're talking about.
Yeah, I
right?
don't. Yeah, I thought that was maybe stretched a little bit. I never thought Jermaine. I thought Jermaine O'Neal was
It was
a
his
guy
own teammate
who got
saying
caught
it.
up in that thing. Like I never, but whereas Steven Jack, I don't know. I thought there was a big difference between Steve. Obviously, Ron Artest is up here.
He's a
Yeah.
fucking
then
crazy
like crazy
person.
level,
Yeah.
like Steven Jackson's behind him.
Yeah.
I didn't think like O'Neal was ever in that.
Well, there are
stratosphere.
15 guys on the team,
Yeah.
and 3 of them were.
Well, what do you? Who was the other? Austin Crozier was out there. Would you want him fucking throwing
Well,
balls?
but my point is that that it wasn't like this was a melee with everybody just fighting
Correct.
for survival. It was like who got involved? The 3 lunatics.
Correct. I did find maybe the most interesting tidbit to be the Jamal Tinsley.
Right when he
Said, "Hey, go get your foul. Go
Yep.
get your foul now."
If he doesn't say that, I mean, it's probably his fucking fault, right?
It
The
is.
entire thing might be his fault. Obviously, the asshole
How
has.
old was he that season too?
He had to have been old.
It was very interesting
your
seeing
foul.
parts like that and how, Reggie Miller's like, we were blowing him out. Fans in the good seats left. All the
Yeah.
shitbags came down into
Yep.
the bowl. That all
I didn't
played a part.
appreciate that though.
But that played a part in this, and that was all news. That
It's
was
like the
news to me.
butterfly effect, man. Everything.
Jamal Tinsley, but that is a good point. But I
I love how everybody after Jamal Tinsley is like, dude, why in the fuck would you say that? You don't need to give him an ounce
Yeah.
of extra motivation to go and foul somebody
Yeah.
hard. That was the
Such
dumbest
gas on the
fucking thing.
fire.
For
Yeah,
sure.
exactly.
That's given like the troublemaker in school. Hey, you want some firecrackers in my locker? Like that's
Yeah.
like
You're asking for trouble,
yeah,
right?
Like that's
That's another thing though, with talking about like how they played again in the rivalry. I think that it probably would have been like a blood feud, just because Artest laid on the table like that with like all the skirmish going on. He just kind of like mentally checks out and goes and lays on the table. To me, that was just like, oh, that if I were on the Pistons and I see this guy who caused the whole thing just laying casual, I would have been like wanted to take his head off.
oh, dude,
Like that guy was
it's a
just
prideful city. That's a prideful
yes,
team.
Yeah.
yes.
Those were some coming off. They were. I mean,
They were right.
Detroit
for-
Pistons
yeah.
have a swagger to them.
Watch,
Oh,
those
were
teams
bad
were-
boys.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Was she
that's like
Wallace?
a-
yeah, fuck yeah.
So people forget that year before when they won the championship, they beat the brakes off the Lakers. That should have been a sweep.
Yeah.
LA, the one game they won that series, won on a bullshit foul call on Kobe. They escaped a game, but the Pistons should have swept the Lakers out of the fucking building.
They were just too mean for them.
They were so
Yeah.
good. And they went to 6 straight Eastern Conference finals. It was like death taxes
Yep.
and the Pistons in the finals.
Yep.
And then
6 years.
They were the worst to watch, though.
Oh, they were.
Those
They
Pistons?
used to
The
hold
Tayshaun
team.
Prince.
They held teams to under 80 points.
Yeah, well,
They-
I feel like that series against the Nets, we might have had a game that was like 71-65.
Yeah,
it was.
If you broke 80 against those Pistons teams, that was like an accomplishment.
the score to that
back then.
Eastern, though the game they lost before to go to the finals was like 69-64.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Crazy.
Yeah,
You don't see that anymore.
So-
and then when you got good mouthpieces, give them more of a part. Like when I saw Tim Donaghy, I was like, oh, he was an official.
yeah. I
Of
forgot.
course he
Let's
was.
put him. I feel like he had a couple sound bites at the top, and then you never saw him again.
Yeah.
What a fucking scumbag that guy is. When he goes, oh, you got Artest, Jackson, and O'Neal. Of course you're going to, it's a recipe for disaster. Like he's some fucking moral,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Right.
Like you're fucking Tim Donaghy, dude.
such a piece of shit, that guy.
And then I did agree with the narrative though that Jermaine O'Neal was the biggest loser because obviously Ron Artest won a title later. Steven Jackson still went on for a long career, and that was Jermaine O'Neal's best chance.
And Reggie.
Yeah,
And
Reggie
Reggie,
was.
yeah.
Yeah, and you know who else? Can I give you my third one?
Who?
Donnie Walsh.
Yeah, because
He-
he was like an all-time great exec.
Dude, it's not easy
Mastermind.
to assemble a team. You trade, you make that trade, you trade Jalen Rose. You make that other trade, you get Steven.
Yep.
He took a risk there. They were
He
good.
even said it, yeah.
Yeah, but to retool and go young like that, but he built a powder keg and
He
you built a
admitted
powder
as much
keg. You
though.
can't be
Right.
surprised when
Yeah.
it goes off.
He knew that like he was walking a fine line. Like this could be like we could win a championship or multiple championships, or this could be
yeah,
the Malice at the Palace.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good roster.
Great roster.
Fuck yeah, it was, man.
And it was kind of like, if you look at it, it's like, of course, like they're the team who can give the Pistons trouble because they're like the only ones that are like mean enough, competitive enough, defensive oriented enough that could really go toe to toe with them. Like they had Tayshaun, Pacers had Artest, and like they had Ben Wallace, and then
They had Brad Miller.
Exactly.
Like, it was
Yes.
definitely.
Who was a
Yeah.
Brad Miller was kind of a badass too.
Yeah, he fought Shaq. Remember that?
Well,
Yeah,
did he fight him?
That is the best miss. That could have almost killed him.
Yes, but
Like,
at least
I don't know
at
about the
least
Jermaine O'Neal thing. That
Well, at least
one-
Brad Miller is also 7 feet and a professional athlete. Which
I don't
you
think
know,
the professional athlete. I mean, he was not really looking.
yeah, I don't know, but the other guy wasn't looking either. He was down on his knees.
The best miss of his career.
Yeah,
We have to talk about the cup. 1 in a million shot.
Oh,
to actually hit him.
Square in the chest.
Yeah.
Like he was aiming for that exactly what he hit, and he fucking hit it. No one has ever hit a bullseye as much of a bullseye as that was.
isn't that one of those things that just makes you think like something was destined to happen when
Like fate,
yeah,
some
when
holier
the odds are that crazy,
right.
and something like that happens.
You give him that cup and say, "Do that again." He's not hitting that.
Well,
the next
it's like
million
half
shots
full
he
of
takes.
water,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
know, or
gotta
beer,
get the
yeah.
centripetal force.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the one sport out of the major four that this can happen in, right?
Because you're right on top of the
yeah,
court and players.
unless if
yeah.
you know it really happened. Like I know Milton Bradley went at it with a fan, and right field because you're very close when you go to the foul lines, but. This can't happen in hockey or football.
I mean, it has happened in hockey.
with the
the Bruins went into the stands.
They went into
and
the stands.
Islanders.
I can't remember who they were playing, but it was like Milbury
I
and
stand corrected.
Terry O'Reilly beat the shit
Yeah,
out of
how
some
long
fan.
was that?
In the
70s.
Oh, okay.
It was
So,
like the
lot-
big, but they had to climb over the glass to
yeah,
beat the
okay.
shit out of the fan.
Okay.
And I want to say maybe Ty Domi did it too, where
Did
it's
he?
same thing where he like
he's like a
climbed up.
noted psychopath, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's nuts.
yeah.
So I'm gonna say something might be controversial. I have no
You?
problem with the fans doing this, or with the players doing this to the fans. I was as I was rewatching this, I had zero sympathy for the fans.
What about our test?
Don't honestly, if you're that big of a piece of shit as a fan, I think you deserve to get the absolute shit kicked out of you.
This is like someone like threw a BB gun at me and I retaliated with a nuclear bomb. Like that to me, it's like it's not the same.
But
it's
at
not
the s-
apples to apples.
At the same time, though, can you yourself it's not that hard. Don't throw shit at the players.
For
You're
sure.
a fucking
Like that
idiot.
guy is an asshole. He should have a lifetime ban. I don't know that going into the crowd and beating the shit out of somebody is an appropriate reaction to having a little bit
But
of
if
pure
that
waters.
if that happens to you in a bar, if that happens to you on the street, you're beating the shit out of somebody that does that. There's a weird disconnect between people that feel I bought a ticket. I can say whatever the fuck I want to these people. Blah, blah, blah. These people, they think they have the right to act and speak to other human beings just because they paid to walk into a place. That doesn't give you any right whatsoever. And the fact that players are basically handcuffed, they can't acknowledge, they can't say anything back, or it ends up on social media, or
And you're the
they're
bad
getting
guy.
fined.
Yeah.
It's a lose-lose situation for players. These people that go and heckle, these people are just bags of shit. If you throw something on the field, or if you take a game that seriously, you deserve to get your ass kicked.
I'll say that I'm okay with Steven Jackson and Jermaine O'Neal going in, because then it's like I have to then it was like a crowd, we have to either help get our test out of there, we have to that's our guy, and there's he could get mobbed by 20 people and get seriously injured. I'm fine with going in, being the second and third guy in that situation. Our test, that was an absurd overreaction to getting a little bit wet.
I mean, he's a lunatic. And I was honestly sad watching him on his couch talk. He's not all there, even today.
No.
It sounded like a child in some parts, talking and reasoning. And obviously, mental health is a much more public thing today than it was back then, and especially in sports. I just feel like he did such a disservice back then when it was mental health was still a stigma. I think if he was around today, he would be in a much better place. He'd be
Oh yeah, definitely.
medicated. He would have much more support. And I don't think that situation happens today with him.
But the thing is, it was the perfect storm too. Of course, maybe he's the only one that would lay down like that. But in the last 2 decades, he's a top 10 like craziest player in any sport,
Yeah.
Without question.
right?
I'm trying to think who else would be in that category. Like
I can't-
Probably Milton Bradley.
Milton Bradley, Antonio Brown.
Yes,
Yes,
Antonio Brown.
yes.
I don't know if I can't see Milton Bradley or Antonio Brown doing what Artest did.
Carl Everett. Like those guys.
he hates dinosaurs.
You can't see Milton Bradley.
I could see Milton
getting
Bradley
something
doing
thrown
that.
at him. And
I mean, do you remember when he tore his ACL screaming at the ump?
yeah, who's that? Frank Francisco hit someone with a fucking chair in the bullpen in Texas. Do you remember that?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Uge Thurbina
Well, he just like,
killed people.
yeah.
Yeah. He's like
Allegedly, maybe no.
True. No, I think didn't he light people on fire?
I don't know. I
I'm
know
pretty
he was-
sure like he attacked people with
His,
machete.
I know he
his,
did some fire
his
shit.
landscaper.
But
Yeah.
Why don't
he's
we do
like-
a documentary on that?
Yeah, but the thing is, and that's what I want to get to here because we talk so much, but we have to talk about Ron Artest, just the guy. He deserves his own doc. He is the most fascinating guy, maybe that is not realized, is not like enough time hasn't passed for us to really like talk about the lore. But going back from the Bulls, that he would walk to the liquor store and drink Hennessy at halftime.
Oh,
To-
man.
Like
That's what I'm
this-
saying. That's sad, man.
Yeah.
That's like
He had,
Right.
he had-
And when I say crazy, I don't mean like crazy, like, oh, he's a lunatic, he should deserve a loony bin. I mean just like
the fact that
eccentric,
happened.
yes, eccentric,
yeah.
and just like, whoa, like this guy, like Rodman.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, the difference is that
Rodman seemed like he was like soft spoken, and I don't think he would try to fucking
but
murder a fan.
but like those things where he was
He
like
kicked the camera guy in the nuts.
yeah, and the whole thing where from the Last Dance, Rodman's like, yeah, I got to go out to like do the
Vegas.
wrestling thing. I got to take
Yeah.
a vacation and go to Vegas for a few days. I'm just too stressed out from playing basketball. Like Artest had very similar quotes to that in this doc.
Oh,
Where he's
yeah.
like, hey, I gotta, I'm promoting my
the
my
rap
album.
album. Yeah,
And he's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I have other interests. I want to do it. I don't want to be known as just a basketball player. So it's like, to me, like there were a lot of parallels there. The difference is he had a big role, I guess, on one of those Laker teams with Kobe where they won it. But he wasn't like the third wheel on that team. Like, like it was Kobe and then Kobe's like guys, where Rodman, it was like, he was like the third face of that
He
team.
was, I'm pretty sure he was a little more up there than that
with
those teams.
with those Laker teams.
Yeah.
I remember him having a big role, but it was clearly like Kobe's the alpha.
Yeah.
Right.
Paul.
Gasol. I think they had Bynum on one of those teams too.
Yeah.
Like
Uh-huh.
and then maybe they had another wing too.
that was the three. That was the three
Yeah.
when they beat Boston twice and lost to Boston once.
Yeah. So, you're right. And our test was, I would say Rodman had a bigger role on the Bulls teams than our test did on those
Sorry,
Laker
they
teams.
beat Boston once and lost once. It was 2, not 3. Sorry.
Yeah. They beat the Magic another time.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was also footage in this that was never shown, never saw the light of day. Like the guy throwing the chair.
yeah,
I never saw
Yeah.
that until
Yeah.
this.
I remember that.
I remember that too.
I remember that for
They
sure.
I
also
remember
tried.
that.
How?
I just remember.
I don't remember that. The other thing with the police though too.
3
They're-
cops in the
That's-
whole building.
and they had like zero interest in doing anything.
Yeah.
Why
they were
would you?
They were back under the, like in the fucking,
I don't know
by the
what they're
locker rooms.
supposed to do, but
Are you Reggie Miller? Who the fuck are you? You got a suit on? You're not on the team.
And then
Hey,
they're
that's
trying to
crazy.
arrest Jermaine O'Neal in the locker room.
Yeah.
So
Not a good look for the police. in
no,
this.
not at all.
And then, I mean, people were calling 911.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
the
they denied-
911.
yeah,
You
yeah.
better get people down here to the palace right now.
basketball game.
Yeah.
The players are fighting the fans.
Yeah.
now we have been spinning the wheels on getting this guy on Redline Radio for a few weeks now, Chris Chelios. Are you aware that he was in the building watching the game with Kid Rock?
Was he
No.
really?
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right here.
Let's text
No
them right now.
way.
Yeah.
They
I'm
were
not-
long gone by then, though. They're not staying around. with
Yeah,
kids.
it was all the scumbags from the upper deck, coming down to the lower bowl.
There's no way. To answer your question too, he was not that he was ever a big scorer, but he was the fourth leading scorer on those championship teams.
Okay, so
yeah,
he's the fourth
so yeah,
guy.
you were pretty directionally correct.
Yeah, thank you.
and but he was leading. He was guarding their best guy.
Oh, for sure.
That
Yeah,
was
yep.
his role was. So definitely,
Yeah.
a huge piece.
Yeah, and obviously, like, the Jordan gravitational pull is going to shine more light on those guys around him than maybe those Lakers teams would have too. But
Right.
But so I think that's probably a factor. But yeah, that goes back to, like, we do need more on Dennis Rodman. Something tells me, like, his story is just not done. You know?
On Rodman?
Yeah.
Well, did you see they just cleared a movie on him? They're shooting a movie on his 48 hours that he spent in Vegas between the championship series.
That's amazing,
with Utah.
That
Yeah.
So we did this dog walk with it was KFC. I was in New York. When was that? Like January or something? I don't know. I remember doing it from my hotel room. But anyways, it was places you'd like to be. Or what was the exact topic?
Things you wish you.
Yeah,
things you
this
wish you
has got to
attended.
be up there.
That's
I mean,
all right.
I don't want to be on the court getting Steven Jackson death haymakers thrown at me, but how fucking awesome! Like you just texted. Did you text Chelios?
I didn't actually do it.
Okay, but like I would be. That's a story you'd be telling the rest of your life.
Would you have? So you would have rather attended this over the person who ate the coronavirus bat?
I would have to think about it.
Really?
No one ate a bat, Dave.
It was chemically engineered in a
100%.
Wuhan lab
100%.
as a chemical weapon. That's a deep dive we can go down right
100%.
now.
I don't
Hey.
think it was a chemical weapon, but it was engineered.
Hey, I hate that my brain goes here watching this kind of shit because I
I
fucking
think I know what you're gonna say.
hate social media. But watching this thing, I just kept thinking, can you imagine if Twitter was around back then when this happened? What would have happened on Twitter during this fight? And after, subsequently, all the hot takes.
Do you know what I think?
What?
I thought this is where you were going to go, and this is where my mind went to when I was watching it. Is there would have been plenty of virtue signaling afterwards because like the players got arrested. Stern didn't like even get their side of the story from what the documentary.
Yeah,
said.
we're gonna talk about. It
I
in a minute.
think that there was definitely some racism involved.
Oh my God, yeah.
Abso-fucking-lutely.
They
1000%.
They branded these guys as such thugs.
They had all the clips going away to each and every sports station. These guys are thugs. It's like then you hear Jermaine O'Neal talk. Like Jermaine O'Neal seems like a very, very good dude.
Yeah.
Ron Artest is obviously a loose fucking cannon, but like I was like, holy fucking shit! If that was happening in 2024 with social media, they would like the NBA would be almost done. And that's
Yeah.
and the NBA is like the league of progressive values and everything, you know.
Yeah, this is like Reggie Miller had to feel like his dog was misbehaving. You know, like where you're out in public and your dog like takes a shit in
damn
a
it.
place and he shouldn't, and you're just like you're totally powerless, but you also know like you ultimately are the only one who's gonna be able to clean this whole thing up. And it's like fuck, and like that, like I can't tell you, like that was my thing. It was like poor Reggie Miller. He thinks he finally has a championship, and then like his last year is this. Like that was just, it was just a terrible situation. So and like he seemed like he was very ready to talk about all of this too. Like I had almost forgotten that he was even on that team because he wasn't in the lineup that night.
Right,
and it was
right.
just, it was unbelievable.
He got a game, right? Suspension.
I don't think so.
Then he was in the suit and tie, and then the cops were like trying to drag him off.
Right.
He's like, "Motherfucker,
I'm Reggie Miller. Yeah.
Like I will protect my player," whatever he said. You know.
Yeah.
Then also another. I mean, he must not have brought up to participate, but Rick Carlisle was the coach.
Yeah, where the
You know,
fuck
I
was
mean, the
he?
guy's like one of
Yeah.
the biggest
Yeah.
coaches in the league.
Oh yeah,
Eddie,
yeah.
if you were there, and you know the scene where Ron Artest's arms are up and the assistant coach is like shielding his face, and they're just dumping beer and popcorn and Skittles.
See,
and shit
that's
on
what
him.
I'm-
was-
that's
Would
what
you
I'm
have been one
talking
of those
about.
guys?
That's what
dumping
I'm
the beer?
talking about. That you're just a shitty fucking disgrace
If
of a
Ron
human
Artest
being.
would have ripped through his coach's hands right there and went up and just fucking beat the shit out of one of those guys, he should have not seen an ounce of discipline and legally or from the league.
Dude,
he would have
this-
been justified.
This
in
honestly
doing so.
goes back to fucking Woodstock '99. I think people just started going haywire, and it's like you have like a fucking weird instinct take over.
Who
And
the
a lot
Lord
of
of
those
the Flies.
Like
Yeah.
I know you guys, and I don't think for a second one of you would go and dump a
Absolutely.
beer out on
Now-
another.
now,
fucking
I
human
think
being.
High
I
s-
think double earring
High
Eddie
school
over there
White Sox
would.
Dave, possibly.
No, I wouldn't. No, Come on, I really wouldn't have. I'm not kidding. I would never in a million years consider doing that.
If you were,
I can
if you were
turn on and off the douchebag.
You wouldn't have poured your popcorn on them.
Absolutely not.
No?
Absolutely not. You would have?
I mean, dude, as like a dickhead kid in the chaos, I can't say I wouldn't. I'd like to think I wouldn't.
I wouldn't have done that. I've done stupid shit. I've gone fucking egging and
all the stupid shit you do is mostly to yourself.
Yeah, that's true. No, it is true.
Yeah.
But
I'm not trying to sound like, oh yeah, I would have been right in the mix. Fuck no, I wouldn't have been in the mix. But if you're throwing popcorn, like you might have threw something.
But that's the other thing where it's like, it also to like you said you were 8th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means you were at the game with your dad.
Yeah, but if I was with my buddies, if I was with my
Yeah.
dad, of course not.
You're right.
But if I was with all my fucking buddies, and we were just trying to.
when
be
did you start
dickheads.
going to like games alone?
Not 8th grade.
Cubs games? 6th, 5th grade. 6th
Yeah,
grade,
yeah, really.
Addison bus. You know what I mean?
I started
right.
going. I started taking the train downtown when I was like freshman. Then
Yeah.
once I could drive, yeah.
Yeah.
And then for the record, another thing they should have given us, they went 41-41 the next year. So,
Ouch.
But Artest had left.
lost
right?
in the first round of the playoffs.
Ouch.
Yes. Jackson and O'Neal were still there.
Yeah. But that was the end. That was the end for the Pacers.
Yeah,
They were
yeah. And
just-
they alluded to that, obviously, but still,
Yeah.
just like give me something where I could
yeah.
give me the graphics at the end. That's
And
that's a big part to any doc, in my opinion.
And they had that one team with who was the big center from Georgetown? They went
Hibbert.
Sweetney?
Roy
Hibbert,
Hibbert.
Roy Hibbert, and they went to the conference finals. But the Pacers, like they used to be, for all of the 90s and then into the early 2000s, they had a 15-year stretch where they were one of like the premier teams.
Oh, yeah,
and,
yeah.
And they just,
Definitely.
it feels like they never really recovered, even as an organization, from this moment.
I mean, they definitely haven't recovered since. I mean, you could argue, obviously Sabonis but I don't know.
But they're not.
Paul
Like they
George
had.
had
They
some
had.
good
It was like,
years.
ooh, the Pacers. Like
Yeah.
when they used to have the NBA on NBC. Like the Pacers were on
Yes.
a lot.
Yes.
And they were like one of those teams that you had to watch.
Yeah.
And they were a great NBA Jam team too.
Smith and Miller.
Yeah.
That's when I really liked the NBA. We're back when the Pacers, like these years when I would watch them all the time.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, I don't know. I'd give it like a B minus, C plus.
Your critiques are
plus.
fair. I would just say, like, when I watch docs, I'm more of on like a binary grading scale where it's like, was I entertained? Yes. And then that's kind of like it for me.
But it's not like I watch docs to learn. I watch movies to be entertained.
Ooh,
Is
good
that
point.
fair?
Fair, very fair.
I think I do both.
you want to watch World War II in color?
I would. Sure.
It's fucking
It's a
fantastic.
10-part series.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
It's a long one.
All right.
Hold on. Last thing. Has anyone's legacy taken a bigger hit since they've passed away and David Stern?
Yeah. How so? Do you think his legacy took a hit?
I feel like the more and more
I don't know about
that
that.
his name comes up, it's associated with just terrible fucking moments.
I would say that of all the people that have been a commissioner in my lifetime, he's still ranked number one.
Paul Tagliabue
Covered up all the concussion stuff. Next.
Okay, David Stern. We'll talk about cover-ups. He's the ultimate cleaner. Ultimate cleaner.
Of what, though?
Everything.
He seemed like a mob boss. to me.
Exactly. The Jordan gambling thing swept under the rug. The Tim Donaghy thing. The most. For him to call that an isolated incident and just bury Donaghy and move on and say, we did our own internal investigation, it was one rogue guy, there's nothing else to see here, was the biggest crock of shit on the fucking planet.
Has there been more evidence coming out?
Because he covered it up.
No,
Because Stern did his job. That's what I mean. Like he didn't put like
He's a cleaner. The Kobe rape, cleaner. This, Malice at the Palace. The Pistons are thugs. Where I'm judge, jury, and executioner. They're all gone for the year. I don't fucking care. I don't need to hear anything else. I don't need any testimony. I don't need to see any other video. Saw what I saw. This is that. Like I don't know. I think he was lucky that he was commissioner at the time he was, because if he was in Silver's place today, he's getting fucking crucified.
See, I don't
like Goodell.
I don't think so. I don't think, and he also ran the league from 84 until he did it for 30 something years.
Yeah, he was there forever.
Yeah,
I thought he was a perfect character, though. like the rigging stuff, the Angel of Stern, the
Yeah,
rigs.
right, yeah.
I just don't. I mean, sure, maybe is like that whole kind of thing, cleaning stuff. Sure, but as far as entertainment standpoint, to be a guy like, hey, I'm Chris Paul to the Lakers, no way, not on my watch.
Fuck that.
You know what I mean? I just felt he was like a perfect kind of villain to throw
Yeah.
up there, and like he's Robert.
And you enjoy a villain.
Whereas Roger Goodell is like the villain, but like he brings none of like the cool, like
And
Actual villainy
yes.
stuff.
Right.
Yes,
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 And
yes, yes,
I
yes.
also feel
Because
like
Stern was smart. Goodell's a fucking idiot.
well, and I also think Goodell's like an actual bad person, and I don't think that about Stern. And I don't.
I'm the opposite.
I think Goodell's a good guy.
I think they both suck.
I don't. He doesn't strike me as a bad guy. He strikes me as just kind of a like.
I think
goof.
I think he's terrible at his job, and
I don't think he's good at his job.
he lies about shit all the time.
He's a terrible human being.
Yeah.
Stern wore on, like I remember he was announcing the first pick of whatever draft it was, and he was getting the shit boot out of him, and he was doing like a Vince McMahon like come on, give me all the boost type deal.
Yeah. Well,
He loved the hate.
the other
He was
thing,
a good character.
The other thing
Other
about
than that.
Stern that I would give him credit for, and this has kind of gone off the rails as we're ending the show. The NBA was like fucking dead when he took over. You know,
When
like,
did he take over?
He took over in the maybe late 70s, early 80s.
Okay.
Like games were on like tape delay, and then he like boosted up like Magic and Bird, and then Jordan, and like he created like this NBA that we know about, where Goodell was basically like just given this thing that was like a well-oiled machine in the NFL,
Any one of us idiots could fucking
not fuck it up.
Right.
And
You're right.
yeah, and I think Stern, he should get a lot of credit for building the NBA into what it is today. And I think Silver's done a great job too. But yeah, it was an entertaining doc that I don't know, I really really enjoyed it.
I heard there's another one in this series that's
There's
good.
actually 6, I believe. Two of them are already out. One of them was about tennis, I believe. Another one was about Caitlyn Jenner. So
Wait, no, someone blogged today. I saw
Dave will
it.
probably have
There's
to
one
sit that one out.
There's one about the Thrashers. Whoever the Thrashers are, and someone said that it's a like must watch.
like the hockey.
I'm guessing.
It's not out yet. So,
Okay.
Oh, it's not?
Or maybe it's not. I think they're like 6, but they're releasing them
I'm excited for that one.
with the Thrashers.
Yeah.
Well, what did they do? That's
I don't know.
Well, they
It's-
were they got
Atlanta.
they got an expansion team, and then they had bad teams and shitty owners and shitty general managers. They made one playoff series where they got swept, and then they had basically like a feud in the ownership where somebody was like, well, we're out and we're not putting any more money into this. So then they were at like a stalemate. So the league came in and was like, all right, you guys just have to sell the team. Winnipeg had a stadium. They had ownership group. Whoosh, gone
See
in
ya.
like 3 months.
You know who was devastated by that?
Who?
Little John.
Yeah, was he big Thrashers guy?
Huge.
They had
I think he
cool
was the
uniforms.
Thrashers' #1 fan.
They had cool uniforms.
You can hear all about it on our Barstool backstage interview.
There you go.
There you go.
I don't know the other ones. So it was a boxing one. Sorry.
We'll have to watch them and review 'em.
Yeah.
This was fun.
Yeah. All right. Good episode. That's it, guys. Thank you for listening. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll see you then. If you're still listening, it sounds like Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central, Travis the Chimpanzee doc will premiere. See you there.